Om Sarvadharmastapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, the embodiment of all religions, the greatest teacher among all teachers, O Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. So let us continue Sri Ramakrishna's teachings with the examples, with the stories, with the parables. In our previous reading, we saw Sri Ramakrishna teaching us that how we should develop love for God and how we can remain detached from these worldly affairs but still be part of the world. Sri Ramakrishna says, do your duties, but first you develop that love for God. You feel that devotion for God, and then you plunge into the waters of the world. You won't get harmed in any way. Your entire focus will then remain on the God, and then you can be a successful devotee for that matter. Now for that, Sri Ramakrishna gave two examples. One, cutting jackfruit with smearing, anointing oil on the hands, on the fingers, and then cutting. Then that sap, then that milky, sticky juice of jackfruit, it won't create any problems. Then it is a smooth cut. So that is one example Sri Ramakrishna gave of how after developing devotion for the God, a devotee can enter into the activities of the world, into the worldly activities. And the second one, the butter. Said the milk, when you mix it with water, milk loses its originality of being a milk and it's get diluted with water, and then you can't separate, you can't make out, okay, what is milk, what is water. In a way, the divine nature that we possess, it gets diluted with the worldly qualities, with the qualities of this world. When we enter the world, when we start our worldly activities without having devotion for the Lord, without having devotion for the Divine Mother. Swami Vivekananda has said that every being has divinity in him. We are divine, but we have forgotten our divinity. We have forgotten our divinity to such an extent that we don't even hesitate to do anything wrong. Anything wrong in the eyes of the Lord. So that's what has happened. The divinity has got diluted. The milk has got diluted with water. Now, how to maintain this divinity apart from getting mixed with water? So Sri Ramakrishna says, simple. Convert milk into curds. Put it in one isolated place, one separate, in an undisturbed, for that matter, undisturbed. Curd cannot set if the milk keeps on shaking. So it has to be kept at undisturbed place. And then once the curd is set, all we have to do is churn it. Churn it smoothly so that the butter comes up. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, put that butter in water, it will never mix. That will maintain its own individuality. Sri Ramakrishna says, developing love for God and then entering into the worldly activities is like converting milk into butter and then putting it in water. Now there is no admixing, there is no dilution, there is no adulteration. There is no loss of any quality as such. Butter remains intact. So that was the teaching that we had yesterday. And today's teaching, again, it goes in continuation with what Sri Ramakrishna has taught us for the last two sessions. Now, today's session, he is going to teach us something about can we actually develop that kind of love for God? If we develop that kind of love for God, can we actually see God? Can we become one with Him? Can we have that realization? So Sri M, the Arjuna of Krishna, like Arjuna of Krishna, Sri M is Arjuna of Sri Ramakrishna. He keeps on asking him all his doubts. Like throughout Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna has constantly kept on asking his doubts and clearing the doubts. So Sri M asks him that, can we see God? You are talking God realization, God realization. And Sri Ramakrishna says, certainly, certainly you can see God. And then Sri M, Mahendranath Gupta, he asks, under which conditions can we see God? Can we develop that kind of love for God? And Sri Ramakrishna now is answering that question. He's teaching how to attain the God, how to gain that love for God. Now Sri Ramakrishna says that God reveals himself to a devotee who feels drawn to him by the combined force of these three attractions. Now here Sri Ramakrishna gives a very practical example again, that any person of this world can understand. Now he talks of three attractions, Sri Ramakrishna. He talks of three attractions. What are those attractions? Which all of us we can relate to. They are so common. They are so apt. They are so much we see around in our day-to-day life. Those three attractions. First attraction is attraction of worldly possessions for a worldly man. Attraction of sense objects for the man entangled in the senses. That is one type of attraction. The second attraction is child's attraction towards its mother. Child doesn't want the infant for that matter, it doesn't need anything in this world except its mother. Once the mother is with the child, he has got all the treasures of the world with him or her. That is the second attraction. And the third attraction, Sri Ramakrishna says, the attraction that a chaste wife has for her husband. Now these three attractions in our day-to-day walks of life, we see them every day. So Sri Ramakrishna says, these three attractions, when are pulled together, that super attraction kind of, with these three types of attractions added together, that will take you to God. Once you have that yearning, that the person who wants to enjoy sense pleasures, he has that the yearning he has for the sense objects. I want to see beautiful things. I want to listen to beautiful music. All these kind of yearning for the sense objects by a person who wants to engage in sensual pleasures. That attraction. Then the attraction of a child for the mother, or the attraction of mother for the child. These are so strong. So Sri Ramakrishna says, just add that attraction of sense objects to a sensual pleasure enjoyer. Add to that the attraction of a mother for her child or the child for her mother. And add to that the attraction of a chaste wife for her husband. These three types of attractions, when we mix together, that's the end of it. That attraction, that yearning of these three types, when we add them to one, towards the Lord, towards the Divine Mother, when we have that type of yearning, that type of longing, that type of attraction for the divine, it's all done. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, another example he gives for this thing, that be like a kitten. He says, it is necessary to pray to him with a longing heart. Pray to the Lord, give me love for you, give me love for your lotus feet. And how we can do it? That we have to follow the way kitten does. Sri Ramakrishna says, a kitten doesn't know anything but its mother. The kitten knows only how to call for its mother, crying, crying, meow, 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 meow. That is all kitten does. And wherever the mother cat is, the moment she listens to her kitten's mew, she will come running towards it and see to it that her kitten is kept in a comfortable position. Now, mother cat may keep the kitten sometimes in kitchen, sometimes on the bed of the master, sometimes just on the floor, or sometimes on the doormat, whatever it is. The kitten, wherever its mother keeps it, it is always happy because it knows my mother has put me in the best place. So this is the place where my mother has put. Let me enjoy the place. And that's what Sri Ramakrishna says. That ask the Lord to, the Lord is putting you, the moment you start mewing, the moment you start crying, the moment you start praying, the Lord will put you under certain situations, whichever situation Lord puts, like the mother cat keeping her kitten, whichever location the mother cat keeps. If it is kitchen, no problem. If it is a smooth, velvety bed, wonderful. If it is a hard floor, doesn't matter. That is where my mother has kept me. She wants me to be there for some time. Fine. After that, she will put me somewhere else. So Sri Ramakrishna says, once you have that kind of love for the God, once you have that kind of attraction for the God, once you have that kind of devotion for the God, whatever, whichever place, like mother cat, the Lord puts us, we remain to be happy, we remain to be contented, we remain to be satisfied in the Lord's wish. So that was the teaching that Sri Ramakrishna gave us today, that yes, we can see God, we can, provided we have that yearning. And with that yearning, we can wade through the waters of this world. We can wade through all the different situations, the pleasant, unpleasant, the joyous, the sorrowful, the pleasureful, the painful, all situations of the world. They become as the situations that the Lord has put us into. So that is our teaching for the day. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.